Digital payment service provider Cellulant says there is significant room for Kenyan startups to dominate the African Fintech scene. Patrick Igunza sat down with the firm's co-founder and CEO Ken Njoroge only days after he inked a trend-setting deal with the Rise Fund managed by TPG Growth. Listen in.
Just tell us, how has the journey been for you to reach here?
Our journey has been about 15 years. So you could say that the journey to get this kind of investment started at the beginning. And we set a strong foundation, set a strong board and so on that guided the business from very early days when it was a startup. So the last leg of this investment, which was a journey of about 24 months across different parts of the world, the US, the UK and Europe, and South Africa, and also some of the investors that have their headquarters in Nairobi, was a long journey. And it started first by identifying about 60 investors who typically are interested in a business at this stage and to be able to support it at this stage. And that journey then was, of course, long flights, very long phone calls, long presentations. It also had very difficult moments of rejection, false promises, and so on and so forth. That's just the nature of a beast. And that process, I think, was about 400 or so pitches. Here we are, and it's a fantastic investment. It's the largest investment in a payments company in the continent by far. And it positions us to actually be able to deepen some of the partnerships we have and to grow some of our products in some of the markets.
So would you say that you've hit your peak? Is this why you wanted to see your company being, reaching, or are you looking at further, actually looking for more deals similar or perhaps even bigger than what we're currently talking about?
We always wanted to build up a Pan-African business. And we always saw ourselves as being a business that is in about 24, 27 of the largest countries. Today we are only in 11. So you could say we are maybe 30% of the journey. And the way that the business is kind of organized and the way it was shaped from its foundation can list anywhere in the world. The idea was to build an African business founded by Africans, run by Africans. That could actually be attractive to any types of investors from anywhere, and this is a mark of confidence in that journey.
What's your rule of thumb when it comes to perhaps growth as well as sourcing for financing for startups, local startups?
Financing is hard to come by. I think that is just it's just a general rule, and if there's a startup out there that is struggling to find financing, they should know that it's not unique to them. I think it's generally hard. But to have a fighting chance of even being able to get on the table, there are a couple of things that you must get right. And the first one is you must prepare your business for financing. And that means very early on separate you as an owner and the business. These are two different entities. We were very fortunate that we got Dr. Kirutu, who was one of our early chairmen, and brought governance from when we were just about 5 people in the business. So you have to do that very early. And second is that you just have to build a very good team from very early on. And in the early days, because you're a young business, you can't afford them. You have to share the business. I mean, it's and the first 10 employees must be the best in their fields if you want to build a business. So you can't sit as a young business, you own 100% of the business, and then you think that then at some point you're going to attract investors. It doesn't work like that. You have to build out the team, and means you have to divide that cake very early because it's all you have. You don't have money, you have ideas, you have a vision, and so on and so forth. And then over time, as an entrepreneur, you have to realize that the moment a business starts to catch on, the business only grows as far as you grow as an entrepreneur. So most of us, of course, we start a business because we know how to write software, and that's where I started. But very quickly, the business demands more. It needs somebody who knows how to hire people, somebody who knows how to run teams, somebody who knows how to talk to customers, and so on. And all these skill sets you have to develop yourself, or allow those skill sets to develop in the business. I think if you do those 3 things, and then you go out and do 400 pitches, you will certainly get capital, because also with these kinds of deals hitting the news, it basically begins to attract the interest of investors that, oh, hey, in Africa, in Kenya, these kinds of businesses exist that we can invest in.